No,
makes
it's
you
good.
feel
This
better.
is a good growth opportunity.
Yeah, if I'm all for nothing else but good growth opportunities, I guess. Is this?
I'll be right back.
Yep. All right. We figured it out. We figured it out. We are now on YouTube and Facebook, and
Oh yeah, there we are.
that was something. So sorry about that, everybody. If you're there watching, say hello. Tell me I'm a fool for jacking that up so bad. I can handle the criticism. Uh, I'm used to people telling me that I screw something up once in a while. That's
There's
fine.
me walking around.
That's fine. Yeah. In your recording studio, are those bongos behind you? You do the Matthew McConaughey sit around
Those
naked?
no, those are congas actually.
Okay. What's the difference between a conga and a bongo?
They're big, the size of them. So those are 2.5 feet tall, where bongos would be little one.
Nice.
Yeah,
For
no, I have
people,
a full drum set, congas, and I have a cajon, and then I have about I have 4 guitars and a mandolin.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's only crazy because I'm slightly jealous, even though I just now started learning how to play. If I had 4 guitars, I think my wife would be very upset with me at this point because there's no proof that I can play yet.
Yeah. So one of them was it was my second guitar, but it was my first real guitar that I have had since I was in 7th or 8th grade.
Okay.
One of them my dad gave me, and then the other three, I guess, the other three I purchased over the years. So.
And why do you use them for different reasons? What different reasons do you have for all 5?
So one of the guitars I had to buy so I can keep it by my bed, so that I can play before I go to sleep. Then my oldest guitar I rarely play anymore. One of them that's hanging on the wall there, that's an electric guitar, and then I have a 12-string acoustic and a regular acoustic. So they're all kind of.
I get the 12 string and the 6 and the electric. So there's reason for at least 3. But then you serenade your bride to bed.
No, she's already fast asleep. She falls asleep pretty early usually. So I have an electric guitar by the bed so that I can play it and it's not loud or obnoxious. So
Yeah. So you play every night.
Most nights.
Spend some time playing every day.
Yeah, I try to play every day. So for years I didn't play at all. I maybe 15, 20 years I didn't play at all, maybe once or twice a year. And so I regret that. But recently in the last 3 years I've been playing all the time. So
yeah, you sent me that one video. I was gonna play the video for everybody, but I decided not to. I wasn't gonna do that to you blindsided.
Yeah, don't do that. But I have offered you virtual guitar lessons, which you have not accepted. So
I have not accepted those yet. I will.
okay.
I will. I have to get over this thing. So I know it's really rare. I hate sucking at things in front of people. And I know there's no way to get better at it.
At the beginning of our live. I thought you handled that with grace. It was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. But see, you can admit that, right? But when you're actually trying to do something that is I guess run a podcast or a YouTube show and it fails horribly, that's not a good excuse. But I think there's a different kind of vulnerability to trying to play music or something like that you have to get over.
Yeah, no, seriously, because I'm still very I don't know the word for it, but it's hard for me to get up and play in front of people. I'm just kind of starting to get over it. It's like obviously the more I do it, the better it gets for me. But it's just kind of the same thing. Like I've spoken in front of people literally hundreds of times with rooms with 1,000 people in it, and still if I have to get up and speak in front of 15 people, I'm incredibly nervous beforehand, hands sweating, heart racing. I try to play it cool, but it's just, I don't know, it's a nerve-wracking type of thing to be up in front, like the center of attention, and you're playing something that's like important to you, like it's an art, or you're saying something that's that's important, and you're trying to educate people or inspire people, that's a lot of pressure.
And that's the reason I've never once ever done karaoke. Like, you want to put on the Humpty Dance, I will dance around and rap that in a group, right? Yeah. But I don't need to be on stage by myself as the center of attention. I have zero interest in that.
Yeah, I don't ever do karaoke either. I don't even like to watch karaoke.
I love to watch karaoke because I like to be Simon Cowell and just make fun of people. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable in those situations. Like when I see like I'm watching some type of like train wreck karaoke experience.
Yeah,
it's very difficult for me to watch. So,
but it's something that I want to push myself and really like try and get out of my comfort zone to do that, which is why I did that guitar challenge in the beginning, because I knew it would force me to then go back and do a recap on progress.
Right.
Which I think is good, right? And it's good to admit where you're weak and vulnerable and show some of that, but it's terrifying to take that next step. Like I have a really good friend of mine who's the IT director at our church, and he plays every instrument. He's like you, right? He plays the drums, he plays all the guitars, the mandolins, the this, the that, the banjo, everything. And he's like, all right, play something for me. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. No, no. And it's different
than once you get there and once you accomplish it, it's going to mean a lot more. Everything is continuous improvement, right? So same thing with this. It's not going to happen overnight, and because it's difficult, it's going to be more rewarding once you actually
accomplish something.
Yeah. But you already know a few chords, so you can play with those few chords that really well. You can play songs. So.
Yeah, I think I have G, C add 9, E minor, A minor, A. Is that it? B and F, I think, should just go away. I don't even think your finger can bend that way. I think it's a dumb thing. I think they need to find a new way to play those chords. Either that, or I'm just never going to play a song that uses B or F.
Well, I'll talk to my guitar friends and see if what we can do about eliminating those from the musical.
Just get rid of them. I mean, when it shows like this finger covers the first and fourth string, I mean, what do you do with your finger?
Well, so
I'm sure this is not what people tuned into, but it's what I want to talk about.
It's terrible. Like, why am I? So no, it's uncomfortable, right? It's an uncomfortable thing. So you have to, anything that's uncomfortable, you have to do it with more repetition so it becomes natural. Just anything, like even like with fitness type of stuff. I watched that fitness video that you posted of you doing the rope climbs, which was awesome, by the way. Something like that, like people can't do it right away. It's hard to do. Like, climbing a rope, so it rips up your hands. It's, really taxing on your muscles. So if you just go up and try it once and it doesn't work out, you say, well, screw this, I'm not going to do it again. Well, then, you're only hurting yourself.
Absolutely.
So same thing with business.
Yeah, same thing with everything. You have to, I just did a blog post about, and that was part of it. Getting through it. Actually, it's called Get Over It. Overcoming your barriers.
I read your blog post last night, and I thought, I don't know if you noticed this, but have you read Troy Nix's book?
I have not.
Have you seen the cover of it?
Yes.
So it's like, it was funny because I looked at your blog post and then I looked familiar and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like the guy almost at the top in Troy's cover. So
maybe Troy and I found the same picture on iStock.
Maybe you did, but it's not the same picture. It's like your picture is like a couple minutes before his picture. So
okay.
Yours is like a prequel to his book.
Well, yeah, because he's already at the top. I'm still trying to get there.
Right. Yeah. No, but you're doing a good job. You're almost there. You're almost there.
I'm almost there. Yeah. That's like when I used to do the half Ironman races and stuff, and the Ironmans and all, or even a marathon. And you got that person that like at mile 10, they're on the side and they're like, you're almost there. And like, you don't know math. I am not even halfway. Thank you for lying to me, but that does not make me feel better. I'm not close at all. Justin Church is watching with us on YouTube, and he says hi from the Bay Area in California. It's all good. We all try guitar. Buy and sell your first guitar. Buy your second guitar and sell that one. I don't think you sell any of your guitars though, do you?
No.
Are they like your babies? I
No,
mean, you have babies.
I do. But I would sooner get rid of them. No, I have gotten rid of guitars in the past, but just because I didn't like them particularly. So, but I'm sure I'll buy more. I've already been on the next one.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's kind of, my wife is watching. I shouldn't say it out loud, but I still look at them because they're pretty. Some of them are really pretty. I'm not saying I'm buying another one. Don't worry, dear. You don't have to type that I can't. That's fine. It's fine. So real quick, tell people who are watching what Wepco Plastics is. This is something that I keep forgetting to do, but I think it's important.
Oh, yeah. Sure. So Wepco Plastics is a mold builder and an injection molder in Middlefield, Connecticut. We started off doing primarily prototype work, and we specialize now in short to medium run production for parts. And our specialty in our tool room is aluminum tooling. So our typical customers are people that need quick turnaround. We service all types of industries.
Yep.
Right now, I think we service somewhere in the high 20s as far as different types of industries. And from those customers, they usually purchase somewhere between 5,000 and 200,000 parts per year. We also build molds for some other injection molding companies as well. So
nice. I remember the first time I was at your place, I'm so used to like the big steel molds here where we got to have hoists and the right eye bolts and everything. And I saw your guy just like pick up a mold and walk it to the other table. And I thought, what the hell are they putting in the water here?
Right?
It's crazy.
That's part of our exercise regimen.
Pick up a mold and run with it.
Yeah.
The next CrossFit.
Right. Well, it's funny because as you can see by my shirt here, which I didn't dress up for you. I wanted to keep it real. I mean, this is basically what I wear every day. So, I'm a member of a CrossFit gym, CrossFit playground here in Colchester, Connecticut, the town next. Yep. And so I think we've hired 4 people from the gym already. Like Sydney, that's how I met her. And so basically, I've kind of meshed all my worlds together. There it is.
Look at that.
You and Colby. I miss Colby.
My first time doing CrossFit ever.
Yeah, wow, that was awesome. That was a good day. You guys did better than me, I think, that day, if I remember.
It was a little bit addictive.
It's awesome. No, it really is. My wife has done it for years, and I would always rail against it. I was like, oh, it's cold. Like, screw that. I don't, zero interest in it.
Yeah.
And she kind of suckered me into it last year on New Year's Eve. And ever since then, like I've been all in. And I just like on my year anniversary at CrossFit this past year, I became a coach.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's fun. I really like it a lot. It's funny. We talk about it a lot, and almost like when Sydney was new, everything about business that I would talk to her about, and I would relate everything back to CrossFit because it was something that, she understood. And I was like, here's what we're trying to accomplish, just like when we do this in CrossFit. So continuous improvement across everything is definitely a passion of mine. So it works really well with CrossFit too, because that's all it is every day you're trying to get better. And it's just like every day at Wepco, we're trying to get better, and we're never going to get there. We're never going to, you set all these goals, but you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to achieve. There's always going to be another step, Well,
look at Matt Frazier.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're watching CrossFit, or if you know CrossFit, Matt Frazier is never going to lose until he retires.
He's phenomenal.
But he keeps pushing himself to get better.
Right.
He's not settling. He's not, I'm good enough.
No, you can't. You can't in everything. I mean, complacency to me is one of the biggest, sins that you can do against yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's, to say that like I've got to where I want to be, I just couldn't imagine doing that myself. It's, I don't know. I just, I'm always trying to improve in everything that I do, and I think it's really important to do that. And people that aren't like that, I don't understand. You know,
I don't get it. I
Yeah.
don't get it. It's hard for me, right? It's hard for me when you see somebody they're like, no, I'm good.
Right.
What do you mean you're good? There's other things to do.
Right.
You haven't reached the pinnacle yet. And like you were talking about with Sid and relating everything back to CrossFit. I was talking to Kirby here, who runs our polishing department, and we were talking about the same thing about continuous improvement. And I told him, I said, listen, you may think where we're at right now at work is good, but we can get better. It's like you didn't get to 220 on your bench press and stop. You want to push further. You want to get to 280, 300. I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And you're going to start listening to the people around you that are bigger and better than you are to find out how they got to that point. And you're going to try those exercises. You're going to adapt, and you're going to grow, and you're going to get better. You got to do the same thing with work.
Right. And some people just don't think like that. But I don't know. I think that's what sets companies and people apart, are people that are always looking to improve. And there's always people that just aren't going to. They're going to be like, this is the way I've done it for 10 years. Nothing's wrong with it. So why would I change, or why would I try to make it better?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think that's the other hard part is when you want to make changes, some people assume, or they take it that you're saying what they're doing is wrong.
Right. Yeah.
And they take it really personally instead of just going, oh, this might make an improvement. You're not doing anything wrong. It's worked. But can we do a little bit better?
Yeah. Right. And that's the thing, is I think that everybody should think like that, but everybody doesn't. So I spend a lot of time trying to persuade people, bring them over to my line of thought. And I've been fairly successful in converting people to the continuous improvement dark side. But
you are a persuasive person.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Justin Church wrote, do you build production molds in-house? Also, how many mold makers do you guys have on staff?
So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in our mold room full time. And yeah, we build all of our molds, and maybe so for years we just built molds and ran them in-house. And more recently, we've been working with some customers and colleagues that are injection molders as well, and we've been building molds for them too. So yeah, but we do everything. So we do some steel work. Predominantly, it's aluminum. That's what our specialty is. It's something that's more cost effective, and it just kind of came from our roots as a prototype company.
Yeah,
people aren't doing prototype molds as much now because there's so many different options with additive. So we still do some, but we carried on the aluminum mold manufacturing because just a lot of people just don't do it. Not nearly as many that are focused on steel molds. So it's ours, what we're best at.
So I want to jump over. When Hillary and I were on last, you were commenting, because we were talking about CrossFit again. I'm going to go back a little bit, but it brings us to the question of cost versus price versus value to that customer. Where I say I like CrossFit, I like the workouts of CrossFit. I even like the community. I miss the community. Triathlon had a really good community, and I haven't done a race in a very long time, and I don't really have the desire to do that again, but I do miss the community competition side of it. But she's listening. She'll kill me if I spend $150 a month on a gym.
See, I understand your argument there, but you can't compare Planet Fitness to CrossFit. You can't. It's just two totally different things. And like when you take it for work, so if I know that we're bidding against a tool maker in China, then we'll tell the customer like, hey, best of luck, but we're not going to be able to do the same thing. You're not looking for the same thing, because we don't compete on price. What you're going to get from working with Wepco Plastics, you could never get from a Chinese company, never, because we're not looking to build we're not in the mold building business. I mean, that's what it says on our website and our business cards. But we truly, view ourselves as a partner for all of our.
Yeah.
So when you take it to CrossFit, the money that you're spending there isn't just to go and work out. You say, well, I can work out in my home. I can work out at Planet Fitness for $10 a month or whatever. It's the programming that you get. So, I mean, everybody I think has had all right, you walk into the gym and you kind of walk around a little bit. Like, some of these too many people over by the bench press. Maybe I'll do legs today. There's programming. You know what you're doing, and you know that that programming is designed to achieve certain goals.
Yeah.
And then there's the fact that there is coaching with people that are trained to help you achieve those goals.
Yeah.
And then obviously the community part of it. So if you look at it for $150 a month, I mean, you're getting a tremendous deal, in my opinion, because of the value. So, people have a hard time sometimes differentiating between price and cost and what the overall value is. So, that's something that I totally understand your objection to that. But if when it's something like that, when it's, your health, it's hard to put a price tag on it.
And that's like Zig Ziglar 101, cost versus price.
Yeah.
And so I 100% get that. I right. do. I'm not there yet where I feel like I'm going to make that hurdle, because when you relate it to work, we're in the exact same situation, right? There's plenty of other companies that do, let's say polishing, for example. There's plenty of other people. There's people in their garage that do it, and they're going to be way cheaper than we are. But if something goes wrong, they're not going to back up that work. They're not going to give you the guarantee that they're going to cover it. Their guys aren't getting paid benefits and top dollar to be really good professionals at what they're doing. It's a guy in his garage. It's going to be cheaper.
Yeah. And, so Hillary and I spoke at a sales process seminar for AMBA recently. And one of the things that we were talking about is, and this is a blow to people's ego. And for somebody that can't build anything myself, it's like really jolting when I
right here, buddy. I can't build anything.
So the only thing I can make is money, but I can't build anything. So, but when you have a room at AMBA where everybody there is a mold builder, the chance that somebody is much better than somebody else at building molds is, I don't know, the standard deviation I think has got to be pretty tight on that. So sure. There are people that are like tremendous at it, and some people that are maybe average. But my point is, if you're going to go out and say, I'm the very, very best, mold builder, or, I used to use this argument when I owned a masonry company. It's like, if you have 10 people come in here and build you a patio and you look at the patio, they're all going to be pretty close,
Sure.
So where you differentiate yourself is the other stuff, the partnership, the education that you can provide somebody, the support, all those types of things. So that's what I say, like, if the price may be cheaper on your mold, if you go to a Chinese company to have it built, but the cost of that is always going to be greater, because
Absolutely.
You're value that you are working with ourselves, or really any of the people that are in an organization like the AMBA. Because to me, if you've taken the time and the effort to get out of your shop and better yourself and join an organization like MAP or like AMBA, then I already think that you're a step above your competition. And
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. And just like what you're saying, if you're, you've got your niche, but you also, you listen to your customer and you tailor what you're doing to meet their needs and their demands. That's one of the things that we are always trying to do. You got one guy that said he can do this, this job for cheaper. Well, you've got 64 parts and there's one of him, right?
Yeah.
I've got 8 people polishing. How quickly do you need it done? How much consistency do you need from one piece to the next? There's a lot of things that got to go into that when you're comparing Planet Fitness to CrossFit.
Right. No, absolutely. And, I remember when I was in college and looking back at it now, I wish I, well, for a lot of things, I wish I knew then what I do now. But in a management class, I remember them like spending a whole, chapter on management style. And that's such a ridiculous thought to me now. Why have an autocratic or a laissez-faire management style? That's ridiculous because there's, I think, 38 people that work at Wepco Plastic, and they're all totally different.
Yep.
So if I was to go in and try to motivate everybody the same way, then I would fail. I'd probably get it right with 2 or 3 of the people, but with everybody else, because everybody has different motivations. Everybody comes from a different place.
Absolutely.
And same thing with your customers. If you go out and try to, compete on one thing and you're not asking what they need. And I see so many people doing that in all types of businesses. They try to, compete on just price or something like that. Well, if price doesn't matter to me, then, if a lead time or quality or whatever it is, if that's what matters to me and you're trying to sell me on price, it's just another reason why I wouldn't want to work with you, because you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
You don't care. You're one of the other big things that we do as a business community is go to 99% of the websites out there. And Wepco's is like this too, but when you go to the website, it's
Get
all
on it, Sid.
It's about us. Here's what we do. Here's the services that we offer. Boom, boom, boom. Us. When go to your town's website, Wakanda's website. I guarantee I've never been there. I should have done this beforehand, but if not, you can go to my town's website here in Connecticut. And when you go to there, it says it's everything's phrased like this. I want to pay my taxes. I want to, find out when the dump is open, whatever it is, all those types of things. So it's a really user centric.
Okay.
And I think that we need to do that more, but it's, that's how people operate their businesses. Like, here's what we do. We shouldn't start off conversations like that. We should be saying, what do you need? And how can I help you? What is it that you're looking for?
So maybe the splash page to your website, when you first go there, a box should pop up. Maybe we should do this. Kylie, we should do this. Where you just say what you're looking for. What's your purpose for coming to the website? So that we can tailor your experience to what you're exactly looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. So check it out. Like go to a town's website at some time. I know a lot of them in Connecticut are kind of laid out the same way. And it's all about, why are you here? What are you looking for? And then it directs you based on your needs, not you trying to figure out what we do and if that matches what you need. So just one of the many things that bother me on a daily basis.
That's fine. Yeah. I think you might actually get work out of this. Justin wrote again, what's your typical lead time for, say, a single cavity, no slides, open shut, simple mold?
We can do that in a few weeks.
Few weeks. Justin, there you go. Few weeks.
Yeah. If you want to, you can send an email and I bet you get an answer within 10, 15 minutes if you were to send it now to Amanda at wepcoplastics.com. And she can give you some more information.
Justin, you should do that. And we're going to stay on with Charles and time this.
Yes.
And
as soon as you hit send, let us know. And then Tony can put a little clock up in the
we'll
thing.
We'll put a timer for how long is the Wepco response time.
Yeah. Watch, she's out somewhere or something like that. So I put her on blast for the whole world to see, or, all 12 of us.
Do you know Scott Peters? Scott Peters is listening, and he says, it's a good point. Many folk put up a website, up like it's a billboard on the superhighway and then just leave it alone.
Exactly. Right.
Totally true.
So I think that just kind of goes, like I was saying, to how we, in a lot of cases, as business people, we put ourselves out there. If you go to a trade show, everybody's like, here's what I do. Here's what I do. Yeah. You really should say, like, what do you need?
Yes.
It's something that I'm really super proud of what Wepco is doing right now is we're making face shields. And we're assembling face shields. It's nothing that we manufacture. We source all of the raw material and we assemble them. And so it's not in our like core competencies of what we do every day, but there was a need, and we recognized the need, and then went out and satisfied that need. So if we were just like, well, you know, I know that there's like this whole virus situation out there, and here are the things that we do. No, it's like, all right, what do people actually need out there? And then we did our best to fulfill that need. And that type of flexibility, I think, is something that sets us apart for sure.
You know, that's just from Robots. Do you ever see the cartoon Robots with your kids? Your kids are a little bit younger. In Robots, and so the movie Robots is about robots, right? And they're it's a very clever title, but they're inventor robots. And one of the things that they always say is find a need, fill a need. So you're not just creating some crazy abstract thing and hoping somebody wants it. You're looking at what the need is and then building something that fills that need.
Yeah, right. And I think that if you have that mindset that you're actually looking to serve, whether it's in any type of relationship, really, then everybody wins. You know,
I like that word serve so much better than work with or work for.
Yeah, you know, it's really the way that, and it's not easy. Like I struggle with that a lot in my life, but if I can go through each day is trying to serve people, everybody, I come out much better for it, you know?
Yeah.
So, but it's hard for me because I don't know if arrogant is the best word. maybe it's arrogant. But I'm, you know, I have put my ego aside a lot and help people grow. And I think in your, I don't know if it was in your blog or one of your website, or maybe it was something that you said recently about, you know, if you want a job done right, do it yourself type of thing.
Yeah, it was what was that on? It was on a Motivational Monday.
Motivational Monday.
That I did.
Yeah, I consume your content. So
thank you.
Anyway, when you said that, that's right. And that's something that I've said that phrase so many times, but it's such a self-serving thing to say. And, you know, honestly, one of the things that I've learned as I've gotten older and growth is, and I tell people this all the time on our team, but I don't care if people fail. I really, really don't.
Yeah.
If people make errors, and even if they really, really screw something up, you know, I might be annoyed initially, but I really don't, I don't care. I think that's fine because you learn from that.
Yep. You know? As long as you learn from it.
Right. That really like frustrates me if you keep making the same mistake, because that's just laziness. But you know, you should be striving to, so when you're putting yourself out there and you're taking risks, failure is something that's going to happen. You know, I'll bring it back to CrossFit, right? So if you're going through your set and it's not difficult for you, then you're not doing it right, or you're not doing enough weight, you're not pushing yourself. So when I first started, I would get frustrated if I would go for a lift and I would fail. But now I know that, like, all right, I see where I'm at now. So I've pushed myself to the limit, and now I know what I need to, you know, what to work on to if I want to achieve that lift. So that doesn't bother me at all.
And just to jump back real quick, I was saying that the adage, if you want it done right, do it yourself, is wrong. I wasn't saying I believe in that. I was saying in the past, I may have thought that way. But now I realize that, especially here at Alliance, like I do nothing. I mean, realistically, when it comes to making product or getting work done or servicing the customer, I do nothing. I don't polish. I don't work on hot runners. I don't laser weld. I can laser engrave some things like a badge or something silly, but I don't know I don't know how it all works. I have to rely on everybody here to do that, and they have to rely on me to get our name out there. So it takes a team to be able to be successful. I can't do these things by myself. It's impossible.
Right. No. Yeah. And I knew that's what you were saying. And I was just saying that I totally agree with your sentiment, because it's, it's just it's a foolish way of looking at things, because I don't want to be able to, there's, when I get nervous about companies that specialize in 40 different things, because how can you do that?
Yeah.
I like so I try to understand my limitations,
Yep.
and Wepco tries to understand our limitations, and then if
Yep.
there's something that we're not best at, then we bring somebody else in. And so that's why partnerships are so important.
Yeah, because you can't be great at everything.
No.
You know, we talk to mold shops all the time. I think you and I even talked about it at one point, where we don't want to build molds. We never want to be mold builders, ever, 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 because that's not our forte.
Yeah.
We want to do the things that mold builders don't want to do if they're busy.
Sure.
Right? Mold builders don't want to do repair and maintenance. They'd rather be building molds. That's why we want to try and work with people, whether it's mold builders or whoever, to have that kind of partnership that says, listen, if we hear something, we'll let you know. If you hear something, let us know. We'll work together to serve each other in the best possible way. And I think I like that word serve so well, because it takes you out of the equation. If you're doing it right, if you're really serving people, you're serving them so that they succeed, not so that you get something out of it. It's not manipulation. It's not if I do this the right way, I'm going to win here. It's if you're really truly serving somebody, I'm helping you because I want to help you, and
Yeah.
that's it. I want to see you succeed and get to the level that you want to get to.
Absolutely.
It's like I think there was an episode of Friends. Did you watch Friends?
No, I'm a Seinfeld guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me.
There was an episode of Friends where Phoebe was trying to prove that you can do something for somebody else and not expect anything in return, or not get anything in return. And it's impossible, because you get happiness at the end, right? If you're helping somebody altruistically, it's going to make you happy, even if it sucks and you don't want to do it. At the end of the day, if you really, really, really helped somebody, made an impact on their lives, it's going to make you feel good. And are you doing it so you feel good? Or are you doing it for them? Like, what is it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That I agree with that 100%. Is I always feel, and again, this is something that it took me a while to learn. Like my younger days, I wouldn't have necessarily agreed with that.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel now, and I think it's probably comes with age and having kids and stuff like that. So, because I can honestly say now that everything that I do in my life, everything is because I have kids, and it's for them, either directly or indirectly. And so they're the most important thing. So when I try to be better at work, or focus on my fitness, or even like when I'm playing music and stuff like that, it's all for them. And so that kind of mindset comes with that, is I'm everything that I do isn't for me specifically, it's for them, and in hopes that they'll have a better life. So
Yeah, I mean, even staying healthy, right? I mean, the other day, Grace and I were outside playing soccer, and I was playing goalie, and I was diving all over the place and jumping and trying to save the goals. And I felt bad for kids that maybe they can't do that with their parents. Their parents are not gonna do that. They're not gonna run around and dive all over the place. I'm not saying you're a bad parent. I'm just saying I'm glad I can do that with my kid,
sure,
and be able to have that kind of fun. And it's because I want to take care of myself, and be around for a while. And now my son is doing like 2-hour workouts, because one, he's bored with e-learning and he gets done too early and he doesn't know what else to do. And two, I think he wants to be better also, right? He's getting ready to go into high school next year if they ever open up schools again. And he's got goals where he wants to go to state, and he wants to run track, and he wants to be the fastest boy. And it's things that he wants to do, and it's great.
So all my kids are CrossFitters, and I'm proud of the work that my wife and I are doing with that we're bringing them up. So they come to the gym with us all the time, when the gym's open, obviously. And so they all do the workouts. They see the achievement. And so hopefully they'll grow up much differently than I did. So right now I weigh like $180, but I used to weigh 230 pounds and smoke a pack and a half of Newport today. So,
That's a different Charles. I never knew that Charles.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was quite a character, that guy. So like my wedding photos that hang in my house, I weigh 225, and I hate looking at those pictures. But it's like it's our wedding, so Amy's not going to be put in a drawer or anything like that. But
Time
it's
to renew your vows
yeah, oh yeah, we could do that for sure.
and get new
Um,
pictures.
get new pictures. But so I didn't I didn't start focusing on my health until I was much older. And they're not gonna have I mean, like when I was young, I played sports and I was in good shape. But
Yeah.
like that was just because I was young. Like I had metabolism, stuff like that. And I worked out for football and stuff. But once I got into college and into my 20s, I wasn't working out anymore. I wasn't doing anything except, smoking cigarettes. Which
Isn't it nice though? Isn't it nice to look back and go, man, I'm in better shape now at, I don't know how old you are. I'm 42. I'm in better shape at 42 than I was in my 20s.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna be 44 in July, and I'm in much better shape than I was in my 20s. Even like when I was at my peak physical condition when I was younger, like playing football, I'm in better shape than I was then.
Which
Absolutely.
is so awesome to be able to say because there
Yeah.
it is, continuous improvement. You didn't settle. You had a rough patch, but you got back on the horse and you kept improving yourself and getting better to where you are now. And you're still not going to stop.
No, no, I definitely won't. And so no, it's nice. And most importantly though, I know that the things that we do
Yeah.
um, around our kids, but they're watching all the time, right? So the habits that you have, they're going to have most, there's a good chance at least. So the fact that they're growing up in that environment, I feel like I'm doing them a real service because hopefully they're going to see like, well, when you're older, that's what you do. You go to the gym with your family. And so I'm going to have a family and I'm going to bring them. That's why we joined our church
Yep.
because it's a good community and I want them to want to be a part of something like that. And it's everything. Like why I always have musical instruments around because I want them to be curious one day and just come in. And like my son does it all the time. He'll just walk in and start banging on the drums. So I'm hoping that he'll get interested in it and then find like the same joy that I find
Yeah.
in
I think that's awesome. I mean, and just the little things with like you and even Amanda and Dave, like you guys have that kind of contagious personality where you rub off on people. My favorite podcast, not favorite in a way that it was the most fun to record was the one with
yeah.
you and Dave.
Oh yeah,
And
that was awesome.
to go along with that, I mean, here's a picture from that day. I mean, everybody's
That's
happy
a great day.
in that picture, and it could be that we over celebrated the fact that we were doing the podcast, but it was just so authentically fun to be with you guys in that space.
Yeah, no, it was a great day. So
And look
that's
at this is one of my
that's
favorite pictures of us. Look at this. Look how much we love each other.
oh yeah, look at us. So the that's the thing that I really I'm thankful for that we started going out to these trade shows and join places like or organizations like AMBA because it's allowed us to meet so many people that are like-minded
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it makes us a better company to it's if you go at everything alone and that's what we did for so many years. We
yeah.
weren't members of these different organizations until fairly recently, the last couple of years, but it's just made us so much better as a company because we've got to share what we think we do good and we've learned about what other people do good and we've made friends. It was funny, like again going back to like college in my younger management days, it was always like you're not supposed to be friends with the people that you work with.
Totally.
To be, you can go like take a customer out for a drink, but you're not supposed to be like have a personal relationship, and that's ludicrous. Like
My
I
dad
don't.
has always gone the opposite. All his friends are people that he does work with. That's
Yeah,
why that's why it's going to be so hard for my dad to retire because everybody that he likes to be with is people that he's done work with because his whole life was work. He would see these people every day. They became friends. They knew all his troubles. They knew what he was going through, and he knew the same thing about them. And I mean, they're still, I mean, those are his best friends.
Yeah, so that's so awesome. You know, it really is. And that's what I hope, that's the way I want my life to be as well. You know, I want to be surrounded with people that I enjoy being around.
Yeah.
You know, we stopped hiring for skill, I don't know, a few years ago. Like, people's resume is, to me,
Fluff. It's fluff.
is useless, honestly. I don't
Yep.
care what
Yeah.
you did before. If you can demonstrate the ability to learn, then we can ensure that you have the skill. But in order for our company to get better, we need people around that have good, you know, good personality that can add to our culture.
And that's
what we want to do.
That's a Westminster philosophy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I thank Ray and Hillary so much for bringing all of that to light. I never really thought of that beforehand. But now I would never do anything else, right? You wouldn't hire somebody that's really, really good at this, but they're a huge, huge cancer in the room, right?
Yeah.
And on the same rate, if you find somebody that's a really good person, and they want to work, and they want to learn, and they want to be better, and they want to make your organization better, you can teach them anything.
Absolutely. Have you read the book Traction?
I have.
Yeah. I feel like we talked about that before. So
yeah, great book.
I read that book, I don't know, well, now maybe 2 years ago, but I remember reading it and like, oh my God, like, you know, this is everything that, like, it's all like condensed, like everything that I believe in is all in this one book.
Yeah.
Amanda read it and was like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. And then she spearheaded it, and she's, you know, put our team onto the book, and we've been doing it for a long time now. And so if anybody out there has not read it, I highly recommend reading it. It is a phenomenal book. Tony is going to look for it in his bookshelf.
Well, I have the backup, or the secondary part of it, Get a Grip, which is also, or no, that's not Traction, is it? That's
I don't think so.
No, is it Rocket Fuel?
Yeah, that's the second one. I haven't read that yet.
That might be here somewhere. Yeah, we're in the process of doing Traction. We've been like mid-traction. We're not getting traction on Traction, because I got to get more people to actually read the book.
Yeah, that was a big thing for us, is that we got everybody on board, and they you know, we gave everybody a copy of the book, and on our leadership team, and you know, we've been living it, and it's not an easy road, because again,
it's big changes,
big changes, and you know, you have to show people value in their spending their time there, because you know, it could on the outside look like you're wasting all this time in meetings and you know, doing all of this frivolous stuff, but it's really not if you dedicate yourself to that. So I've been saying for years and years and years that my favorite book of all time is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right?
Yep.
So I read that book maybe 15 years ago, and so like 6 months ago, if you were to ask me what the 7 habits were, I couldn't remember what they all were, but I knew that book was, you know, when I read it, it meant a lot, and it changed me. So we all read it as a leadership team at Wepco a couple months ago, and I was nervous that some of the people wouldn't, you know, think the same way that I did, and so, because again, I loved it. And when I reread it, I was like, oh my God, this book, I think, probably is responsible for every success that I've had in life, because it's the way I was like, oh my gosh, I do all of these things. That's great. I must be a highly successful person. At least I'm headed in that direction, right? So, but I was so thrilled when the feedback from our team was the exact same way that I did. And at that moment right there, I was like, you know, that proved to me that we have a really good team, because if they were to read that book and say like, you know, I don't really agree with this, you know, then I would have thought that they were highly suspect. But it's have you read it?
I haven't. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
Write it down. Write it down. I'm gonna watch you do it, and Get that book, and the next time I speak to you, I'm going to ask you if you've ordered it. You could go on right after this and order it from Amazon.
Okay, got it. I will do that. Justin, what is 48 Laws of Power? It's interesting what you were saying about joining organizations while he's typing this. I'm going to go on this little tirade I had. We're long, but I don't care. I like talking to you. That's the idea of the show. If anybody watches, that's a bonus. Otherwise, I just get to connect with you. I was talking with my brother today, and I was telling him how, for the first time, I feel like I can just really be myself in the things that I'm doing, and not have to wear a mask of I have all the answers, or everything I do is perfect, or anything else. I can admit, like, you and I can have conversations about what's going wrong or right at work, and you're not going to hold it against me as a company, because we can be open and honest and grow from each other in that way.
Transparency.
Yeah. Instead of just going, no, everything's perfect, I know all the answers, let me tell you what to do, right? I can call you and go, dude, I'm really struggling with this. And I can be open and honest in that situation. And I think there's so much power and freedom in that. Just being able to take off that mask of perfection, like,
for sure.
Fake perfection that nobody even cares about and they see through anyways. And just being vulnerable to, like, even talking to you or talking to somebody in the shop, and finding out what's going on with them, and then just having a conversation like, dude, I'm going through the same stuff. It's different stuff, but it's the same stuff.
Yeah, people that don't admit it, they're either lying to themselves or lying to you, because the whole thing about continuous improvement, right, is that we're not at the best we could be. So there's obviously things that are lacking, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's just inherent in the fact that, like, if you believe in continuous improvement, you're admitting to yourself and to the world that there's things that you're not as good at that as you should be. Right. So, and that goes for everything, personally, business wise, everything. There's everybody is going through something. Yep. So as long as people are working on it, I think that's what's really important. Not trying to hide what you don't know or what you can't do.
And there's a serious freedom in being okay with those screw ups, like the start of this show, right?
Yeah. That was bad. That was a train wreck.
That was awful. I mean, that was just straight. That was straight awful. That was terrible. There's no defending that except for, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get through it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna move on.
No, you handled it well. I'm just messing with you about.
No, that's fine. It was awful.
But through that, you learned a pretty, valuable lesson about doing these things, so you're going to get better because of that. So if this went off without a hitch and you didn't have anything, you wouldn't have learned anything.
Right.
You wouldn't have gotten better. So now you're going to go about your next one a little bit differently because you experienced that.
I'm going to make sure that box is checked in Restream. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that is checked. And just like yesterday, you pointed out that Hillary had aged horribly because I had her name under the Glenn Starkey content. Not that Glenn Starkey hasn't aged well, but he doesn't look like Hillary either.
Right.
And I don't even know I still don't know how that happened. I tried to learn from it, but I don't know how that happened.
But I didn't blast you in public. I sent it to you privately because.
And I think there's a lesson there too, right?
Yeah.
Today criticism should be done. Criticism should be done in private.
Yes. No, it should. What was I going to say? You mentioned Hillary again, and one thing that I am actually a little disappointed in, but Udi, Alabama person or whatever, has not came on and hit on me.
Oh, yeah. That was weird, wasn't it?
That was on the show, Tony. So I'm a little bit offended. But.
That was weird.
It was really weird. I was in tears laughing. I was like, what is going on here?
And Hill and I were talking later, like, okay, let's be honest, I don't have this crazy big following. I can't imagine people are just happening to come across this on YouTube. That means it's either in my circle or in her circle that this person came from, and
Where are
I
you
don't know which
advertising
it
this?
is. That's
10% of your watchers that day were harassing your guest. So,
but you know what? It was what it was.
It was. No. Hey, it added to the entertainment for me. So it keeps
And
me
if it put us, I keep saying, if it puts even one smile on your face, it's totally worth doing all this. So
yeah.
Why don't we wrap this show up? What do you think?
Sure.
I mean, not that I'm done talking to you. I could talk to you for hours, but
No. But we all have lives to lead, and it's run its course. Well, maybe we'll do it again sometime.
It's run its course.
Yeah.
I did talk about you guys yesterday, and then I'm going to switch gears again to closing us out of here. But I talked about you guys yesterday with Glenn Starkey when you were talking about making mistakes, because I remember when we did the most fun podcast ever, Dave was talking about having that conversation with the kid when he ruined a piece of aluminum, and he was just like, okay, go get another piece. Like, what did you learn? Don't do it again. If you do it again, I'm going to be mad. But what did you learn?
Yeah, that's the most important thing that I try to impart on people is don't be afraid of making mistakes. Be afraid of not improving. And people put a lot of pressure on themselves, especially young people now, for this perfection because it's what we see out there, and it's not achievable. But what is achievable is getting better every day and learning from mistakes. So,
and a lot of times you don't try. Then, if you're afraid of making those mistakes, you just don't try.
Right.
My son jokes. I know he's joking, but he says you can't disappoint your parents if you don't try.
Love it.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
No, your family is awesome. So
I
miss you guys. I don't know next time I'll see you because I don't know when travel is going to be at a point where I will be interested in doing it. I don't like traveling anyway, but now I don't really have a lot of interest.
I'm just over the whole thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it could go down a bad political rabbit hole. I don't want to do that right now. We can talk about that later, but I'm just over it. I feel like at some point everybody's going to come into contact with this thing at some juncture. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's like chicken pox. I just want to get it and get it over with. That's just me. Do you have any prayer requests today? Does anybody out there have any prayer requests that they would like us to pray for them? Chris I thought trying was failing. Yes, trying is preparation for failure. You do it or you don't do it, right? Yeah. See, Chris didn't like that quote, but I 100% agree that you're trying. You're not doing. Do it. If you do it and it sucks, you didn't try, you still did it.
Right. Yeah. So maybe we should pray for people to experience failure.
Scott Peter says, since you are both believers, I'm comfortable to say this. The single biggest lie the devil perpetrates on humanity is believing the lie but my case is different.
Yes. Yeah. Right. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. Chris says he still doesn't like it. Well, I'm sorry. Do it. Listen, I'm going to call you out specifically, my brother. Don't try to quit smoking. Quit smoking. Do it. You did it once before. Get on the phone, call the hypnotherapist that you went to, and do it again. You did it once. You didn't try. You did it once. Now do it again. And each time you're going to do it a little bit better. Right?
Yeah. If I can do it, you can do it.
That's right. That's right. Charles is living proof.
Yes.
So... All right, Kelly says we need to do another Wepco podcast, so we need to get this travel thing over with. All right, I'm gonna pray for us, and then I'm gonna let you go about your day.
Thank you.
Father God, thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for my friend Charles and all the people that are listening to this, whether they see it once, they see it twice, they listen to it now, or they listen to it a year from now. I pray that whoever hears this would be blessed in so many ways that only you can predict. And I pray that this virus would not last very long, but it would last as long as you need it to last. And that we would all be learning something through it. And our priorities and our focus would change to our family and to you and to the things that are ultimately important. I thank you for everything that we have. I thank you for our health. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you,
my friend. Thank you for spending some time with me. It's always good to talk to you. I can't wait to do it again with you and have those awesome trade show excursions and
yes.
and events. But
so, yeah, this is just
the
season. We'll be back at it soon. So thanks for having me on. I enjoyed the conversation, and thanks for doing these. It's great to see people, talking.
I'm gonna keep doing them because it makes me smile, it makes me happy, and I think other people are enjoying it as well. My dad just walked in, he's looking at me like I'm crazy. So I think that's a good time to end, buddy.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you. I'll talk to you later.
You too, man. Have a great day. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you all for listening and watching and being part of our show. We'll be back again Monday with Hillary once again. Until then, take care and God bless.